And now, the world's favorite E-grade team, the
Welcome back! Beans.
I know you wanted that to be an announcer, but it sounded like a ghost.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
This is a spooky episode.
Halloween special in August.
Now a supernatural podcast.
Yeah, we're changing
Last
topics.
week we're Earthworm Jim. This week we're Casper the Friendly Ghost.
We're the ghost catchers.
Beautiful.
Welcome back everyone to everyone's favourite ragtag group of young pups just trying to have a crack talking about basketball. Today,
That sounds like me.
we've got, everyone just go on, introduce yourself. Who we got here?
Connor's here again.
Nobody.
Brad.
No, it's just me today, guys. It's just Mitch doing the Beans podcast today. Nobody else. Who we got here? Who's here today?
Me. My name's Locki. Hello.
You got Chinnick. Hello, that's me.
Brad
And that's
is
it,
here.
apparently.
That's it.
Just the three.
Oh, yeah, tough crowd.
Fucking hell.
Okay, we got Brad Hoetzel here as well. We got Brad Hoetzel here as well.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
I did say that. Come
Yeah, I said
I
first.
apologise.
Easiest part.
So,
Literally the easiest part of the podcast.
yeah, we've already
Let's
failed
wrap it
the
up.
intro.
Come on.
So, got a bit to talk about today. Coming a bit some NBA news. Got the playoffs coming up, so you'll hear some predictions from us from that. And you'll also hear us talk about our favourite NBA jerseys and some of our least favourites too. So, to get started, I think we should get into it early because I don't know if we'll be able to hold Lock, Stockton back for any longer. Locki, there's some exciting news.
Ah, hallelujah, boys. Jim Boylen, the egghead, is gone from
Capital
the whole franchise, man. He got fired. Anyone that's not fully up to date on his shenanigans, he got pulled up from being an associate head coach to be the head coach of the Bulls when the last one got fired for being shit too. 7 days into training, the whole team went on a strike because they didn't like the way he was doing training. And he'd do just the stupidest shit like calling timeouts on open layups.
Dope.
And now he's gone.
Capital G, capital Lawn.
I don't really know if he deserves to be sacked after 39 wins and 84 losses.
Holy crap, that is shocking.
Can't wait for him to get a job in
Refusing
the
to start
Euroleague or
Kobe White, their
NBL.
best prospect.
Yeah, Kobe's just on the bench.
I was going to say, with some
rotting
great
away.
talent there as well.
Yeah. Getting Larry Markkinen injured and then just not doing anything with him.
Yeah, not ideal. So is he back now? What did he do? Was it a shoulder or something?
So he's had this weird injury where he can still play through it, but it like completely affects his game. This season he had like a woeful one just because he can't play at his level. But coach is just like, whatever, bro, whatever. Injury, what's that?
Just keep playing.
And yeah, man, Arturis has done us a solid. Everyone thought, he hasn't been fired yet, but then out of nowhere, Jim Boylen gone.
Bang.
Oh, there's just about to be like the biggest playoff matchup, the first playing game of all time, and the biggest headline is see ya, Boylen.
See him,
So-
mate.
See ya, Boylen. He actually has the second lowest winning percentage of all time in Chicago, which is
I was going to say, that's pretty woeful.
yeah, .317.
Ah,
The one
right.
under him is actually woeful. Tim Floyd, the worst coach of Bulls history, is .205 is his
Oh,
percentage,
God.
How many
which
games
is
did he
woeful.
coach?
But I reckon that was pre-Michael Jordan. It has to be 100 minimum. Jim Boylen coached 123 for Bulls.
Far out. And won
Couldn't
what?
let him
Like,
coach for
what
that
was his
long.
.3? You said.
317. So he only won.
Jeez.
He only won 39 games in that whole.
That's nuts. That is
But
so
boys, you
nuts.
can't
With the
sag on
talent
Jim
that he
Boylen.
had too, which is
I know.
pretty rough.
I told you boys this before, but you can't sag on Jim Boylen. He has as many championships as LeBron James.
Oh my
You
goodness.
can't sag on him.
Oh, is this as
Wait,
the
what?
fucking San Antonio Spurs?
In his coaching career,
Yeah,
Wait, was he the assistant coach at San Antonio?
yeah.
one of.
Yeah. So he was under Popovich, and saw what he was doing and just said, okay, let's just do the complete opposite of that.
Well, Popovich's
Yeah.
tree is usually
Pretty
pretty
much.
good. You want someone who's coached under. So you want your Steve
Yeah.
Kerr, you want your fucking
Even that Sheila
Who
that
else?
they've got coaching
Tim
over
Duncan, Becky Hammond.
Hammond.
Becky Hammond's
there.
going to be.
She's awesome.
They could consider her for the Bulls role. Actually, who do we reckon? Do we have
I was
like
gonna say, do we have any? Is there any
I'm feeling
news on who
Kenny.
they're looking at?
There was talk about
me
Kenny
too.
Atkinson
Me too.
and then one of the Nuggets assistants as well.
Is that the general consensus that they're going with? Atkinson.
I
At
don't
least
think
that's
it's.
who they're looking at.
He's one of the options. Woj tweeted it yesterday. I'll just pull it
Yep.
up. He rattled off like maybe 3 or 4 names. Where are we? That's not it. He's deleted his tweet. What? Where is it? Can't find it. Keep talking. I'll find it later.
Keep talking. Well, I think a really good fit, development-wise, especially for Kobe more than anyone, would be Mark Jackson, who was the Warriors head coach before they won all their championships. He really laid such a good foundation as far as unselfishness. That's the most unselfish team I've ever seen since I've been watching basketball. And he also laid down the culture there, which is still there today. It is so heavily embedded of, everyone's there for each other. You care about your family first and then about basketball. So there's a big trust element of the Warriors as well. And Mark Jackson, developed Steph, developed Clay, made some big moves to get rid of Monte Ellis, which was very hated at the time, so they could get Clay in the starting lineup.
He also did develop
one of these
Monte Ellis
things.
as well, was another thing.
Was another thing. Yeah, he was at the back end of his career.
Oh, he's,
Monte Ellis.
Here's the among many expect to be considered: Denver assistant Wes Unseld Jr., former Brooklyn coach Kenny Atkinson,
nice.
Toronto assistant Adrian Griffin, and Bucks assistant Darvin Ham. Those are just the first few that they've listed off. They're obviously not going to confirm anything yet, but
So they've sneakily been looking, even though he's still was still under contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say they definitely. I feel like they've been planning it a while.
Yeah, they've changed it now, but on his career history last night, it said 2018 to 2020 with Chicago Bulls and ended his career. But now it just says Chicago Bulls.
Ended his
I like
career.
that one better.
That's so right.
Oh.
So that's probably the big news at the moment in the NBA. I feel like next we should probably slide into some other big news, which would be this playing game that we've got coming up
Yes, so keen.
between a young Memphis team who was sort of expected to be pretty close.
Yeah,
And then Portland
maybe
just
not this
coming
close,
out
but
and doing Dame things.
Oh God, he's playing.
He's got to be the
elite.
bubble MVP, doesn't he?
No
He's gotta
doubt.
be.
No
has to
doubt.
be.
I reckon
If it's
Nurkic
not
is-
Booker,
Nurkic just played a big role in helping
Could very
Portland
well
do
be
this.
Booker.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Like, how shocking were Portland before the bubble? Like,
Portland
compared to
and
what
Dame
they were
sat
last
out
year.
a fair bit too.
Yeah, Dame was hurt as well, but
Yeah,
they just
I've
didn't have
been
good luck with injuries.
really surprised as to how inconsistent CJ's been.
Yeah, it's been a bit
Yeah.
iffy this year.
Quite disappointing. I'm just talking mainly bubble because I didn't get the chance to watch a heap of Portland games before the bubble.
You kind of
But-
get the gist with CJ is that the better Lillard gets, the more out of his flow he gets.
Yeah,
So McCullum's sort of like, it's a good place to be when your teammates killing
When a
it
bloke's
and,
dropping
you're
60,
having a
it's
woeful
kinda hard
night,
to
but
score.
Lillard's exactly right. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, it's not.
I
and
reckon-
CJ's still pretty young.
Here's why Portland was doing so bad before the bubble. They were starting Hassan Whiteside because they didn't have another centre.
Oh, bro, worst center.
That's
Worst
what it
starting
is.
centre.
tell you what,
Right, Ben Walsh. It's not Kwame.
He did quite well in their last game against the Nets, like in that game that they had to win to get into this play-in. I was
Good
actually
backup
pleasantly
centre.
surprised with Hassan Whiteside coming off the bench
Good backup
because
centre.
I mean
like,
Nurkic, I tell you, he got his hand first to about 15 extra defensive boards that he could have gotten, but Brooklyn touched him up on the offensive rebounds, and I'm going to look up the stat now. I probably should have had it up. Poor form by me. But Jesus, they killed him. Like, it was insane.
I'll tell you something I like about what the Trailblazers are doing is that when Melo came back, he was like, still trying to prove that he was, really good, still like cogging the ball and stuff. But now he's become sort of like a second scoring option behind Lillard.
Yeah,
and he's
even
playing
third
really
some
well
nights
too.
Yeah, and it's very good to watch him, like, because he can do that catch and shoot thing. As once Lillard gets to about 20 points in the first quarter and a half, he starts getting that double, and he's really clean off that pick and pop.
Oh yeah, no
it's so
doubt.
good to watch.
Wicked. Yeah, that'll be an awesome game.
It's awesome. So I'm really hoping to see a bit more out of Melo because he's had some really good and exciting games, and I thought he was going to show out a little bit more in that last game. I mean, 9 and 7's all right, but when you're a prolific scorer like Melo is, I thought he would have at least gone double.
What do we think of the play-in format? Do you reckon this is something that can stay or can piss off after this year?
I like it.
I think
it's a good time to
like
experiment with it.
I just don't think that. I don't like the idea that a team can go 8-0 like Phoenix did and still not make it.
Yeah.
But there won't be a bubble situation next year. There'll be, presumably the 82 games. But do you reckon the play-in game, so 8 and 9 seed, should play to get that last spot?
Yeah, I don't mind that. It depends. Obviously, they'd have to be really close for it.
Yeah.
I think so. There should be like a rule.
Yeah, I think if there's a game, or whatever, I'm here
5.
for it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm so pumped to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's poor time slot for us over here.
It's 2:30 tomorrow.
Pretty sure. No, that's American time. It's like 4 a.m.
Oh, that's tragic.
4:30 a.m.
That's tragic. I might stay up for it. I'm excited for that.
Who do we have winning it?
I have my answer. I think it's got to be Portland,
right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You've got prime Dame Lillard, who has like a group of 5 capable blokes if he doesn't perform to get the job done. And Memphis just doesn't have that depth. They've got Valanciunas, but Jesus, he doesn't have a good performance
Ja Morant's kind of slowing down on the offensive end.
He's very much
recently.
slowing down. Not taking as many threes, thank you very much, because it hurt my head.
Yeah.
And now he's looking for good looks for the three.
He's actually, and you can see that, like, now that he's stopped throwing up a lot of those poor choice, like, threes.
Yeah, the moving shots.
His numbers are getting up and things like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just that extra pass. And Dylan Brooks is one person that's getting rewarded massively from that.
Yep.
He's been balling out recently too. But again, I don't think they're the best defensive team, especially with such a good offensive team. Like, if you got 2 of the Portland starters on, like, say Melo and Dame having a good game, or CJ and Melo, or Nurkic and CJ or something, you get 2 of those players firing. I don't know if Memphis will be good enough to stop them.
For the sake of when we go into the first round of the playoffs, do we want to say Portland's going to win it? Is that like a unanimous thing? We don't think Memphis can hold on to it?
I'd be happy to just assume that it's going to be them.
I think it's going to be Portland. I'm pretty
for our predictions at least.
I'm looking forward to watching it just to see. I'm really hoping Jar comes out and just bowls out.
At least make it a battle. At least go basket for basketball. That'd be great basketball. Good for. It's so good, and it's really unfortunate Zion couldn't do it this year. But it's going to be so good for Jar in the long term to get playoff like experience straight away. Like that's a big thing.
Even like Jaren Jackson Jr. as well. Actually, he's not actually playing, isn't he? He's injured.
I don't think I don't think he's playing.
Injured. But even Jonas Valanciunas is still young. But they're a very young team, and for him to make it this far, good on him.
It's awesome.
But yeah, from that, I think that ties pretty well. We'll just slowly talk into the playoff tree. Sort of just
let's do East first. I feel like East is going to be less exciting.
Yeah. So the first matchup we got Milwaukee and Orlando. I have a feeling this will be pretty unanimous.
Yeah.
Well, let's all have our tips for how many games it's going as well.
Get the brooms ready for this one, folks. It's going to be
sweet. The brooms ready.
Sweet. If not, it'll be in 5.
Yeah, I reckon in 5.
I can't see it going any further than that.
Let's break it down a little bit to who's stopping Giannis on.
No one.
No one's stopping
not a single.
Giannis is going to average 48 and 17.
I reckon he's not even. I reckon he's going to average like 32, 33 and not play the last quarter in these games.
That's what's going to happen.
I reckon if they get any sort of rest,
I don't think rest him.
Any chance they get to rest Giannis, they're going to take. I think.
I don't see Aaron Gordon slowing his down at all.
Is he suspended for game 1?
No.
I think he might be suspended for game 1. Or has he played his suspension?
I think the suspension was
is
for
already over.
just for the last game of the thing, which was today, I think.
Oh, true. Lucky.
Also,
because then it would have gone to 5.
If you're going to headbutt someone, make him feel it.
Yeah, soccer, good soccer.
Drop him.
Honestly,
but
if you're going to get suspended for it, might as well go all
exactly.
out.
I reckon that Bucks would probably take care of Orlando in the first game anyway.
Set the tone early.
I mean, I feel like
Lopez is good enough to take out Vucevic.
Giannis isn't if Giannis isn't. Oh, I think Vuce will drop 20 on him. I don't.
He's capable.
Brook Lopez looks really good defensively. Not like 1-on-1. I don't think he's the best defensive center. I don't doubt that he's a really, really good defensive center, but I think Vuce is a really underrated offensive center. I don't think Vuce will stop. I don't think he'll even graze Giannis. I don't think Aaron Gordon will touch him.
No.
But I think we'll see some good stuff from Vuce, and even Fournier. I feel like he might play pretty well.
Absolutely.
I reckon to give him credit.
Markelle Fultz too. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Markelle Fultz, and I think he'll be good because it's a little bit of a weird guard matchup for Orlando. They've got a little bit better guard. Yeah, Bledsoe. I'd bet on Fultz having a few.
And that's if they give him the time. Because haven't they been putting him on some weird minutes at the moment?
They have. Yeah, he almost barely played the other day, and then he had a 24-minute game. It's strange, weird, but maybe it's just getting playoff rotations ready.
And I think this experience will be good for him either way.
Absolutely.
Summary: nobody's stopping Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Thanks, Basil.
Sounds good.
Do better, Basil. All right. Wonderful.
I'm
next
glad
one,
that was unanimous.
Indiana, Miami.
This one's harder.
I don't think it is that much harder.
I think Miami will beat them.
I don't think it'll be 3 times when they're actually playing properly, and the one time Indiana beat them was with the benches playing. Miami's clearly got Indiana's number.
Yep, I think it's going to go 6 games. I think it's going to go Miami, but I think Oladipo is going to be a pest.
Yeah,
I think it's because unlikely that they keep him quiet.
Duncan Robinson, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Depends. TJ Warren's apparently hurt, similar injury to Sabonis, so I don't know how many games he's going to play. He's not as bad as Sabonis because, Sabonis' injury is apparently something he can play through, but he decided to get surgery on it so he can play better next year. Whereas TJ Warren, maybe it's just not quite as serious, and he's going to play on it, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's playing for a contract. Sabonis doesn't. He's an all-star.
Sabonis doesn't. Sabonis got the talent. He's got the age.
Did you see Kendrick Nunn in today's game against the Pacers?
I didn't watch it, but
he went 8 of 27.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
well, 1 of 9.
He was one of their only actual starters playing out of Miami's top 10 players.
He's just getting out his misses. He's getting out his misses before playoffs. He's actually not going to miss in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he didn't play the last couple of games. He was
rested.
No, he left the bubble for personal reasons or something. So he just came back.
Oh. Okay.
So I think this is warm, coming back into a game. So yeah, look at the players that Miami had played. Solomon Hill played 40 minutes.
Bloody hell!
Don't think he played 40 minutes before this all year. Myers Leonard played 28. He has these last 2 games he played in the bubble. He didn't really play any other games, I don't think. Udonis Haslam started. He hasn't played any other bubble games. They're not a lot to read.
What a good glue guy off the bench.
Yeah.
UD, he's been there forever.
17 seasons.
Who's that?
Udonis Haslam.
Far out. That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's nuts.
He's going to get
leading
his
rebounder for Miami.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Easy. 3-time champion, all-time leading rebounder. 17 seasons with one team.
Fucking that's
good on him.
That's so much more deserving than fucking Nick Collison. Fucking hell. That's a story for a different time. But I personally reckon it's going to go 4-2 this one.
Yeah, I reckon so too, Brad.
4 or 5 games.
I think 5 or 6. Yeah, but do we all think Miami's taking it?
I think Miami's taking it.
Chinnick, what do you reckon?
I think so.
How many games do you reckon, Chin?
I was thinking 6 as well, because I do think it'll be close. just from the games. I didn't watch a lot of Miami, to be honest, in the bubble.
There's a first mistake.
Miami
Yeah,
only
they
went
are,
3 and
honestly.
5 in this bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have Jimmy for a few games as well, and Goran Dragic.
Yeah, true.
Who both came back and turned it on the couple of games they had back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only watched one. I can't remember who it was against. But, yeah, I think that one will definitely... I mean, it sounds stupid to say it's going to be the closest because, probably is. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that one will be probably 6 games.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
like
you
Miami
guys
will
said, I reckon Oladipo is going to give them a run for their money.
I think he's going to be the best
I
this
reckon
whole
he's been
series.
playing pretty well. Yeah.
Not
and
saying the
if
games
TJ
will be
Warren's
close.
injury isn't too bad.
I think Miami's going to be better in the last quarter than Indiana.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Especially if
And that's what the
TJ's
difference is going to be.
foot's giving him grief. If his foot's giving him grief, 48 minutes on a foot that's giving you grief, that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
That. But I think, again, unanimously, it'll be Miami taking it. Just depends how many.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, then on to the next game. I think this will, again, be a pretty close one. Boston and Philly.
Yeah.
So, I thought Joel was injured, but it appears
So
he's not.
he played today.
But he still played.
So, what was his injury? What did he do again?
Pussyitis.
I
Let
think
me-
it was a sprained ankle
Let me
at
have a
first.
look up. It's a hand issue. I know
Right,
that much
it's a
because
right
He had
hand
a big,
injury.
big swollen hand.
yeah, he was still swollen when he played today, but he still
Fuck, he's
played.
injury prone. Like, if I'm 76ers, I'm keeping Ben,
Simmons.
even though
Yeah.
he's injured at the moment.
Yeah, but Simmons misses a lot less games with injury. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Well, it's not
'Cause he's Aussie,
broken
mate.
or anything like that. So
It's funny,
He's
you
still
Google
playing,
Joel Embiid injury and there's like 9
So
different
many
articles
articles
about
about
injuries.
Got a
yeah,
broken
fucking
foot.
hell.
But Simmons is out, right? He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
full on.
gone for this.
That was his
had
knee,
surgery.
wasn't it?
Yeah, he dislocated his kneecap.
And it came back in straight
Oh.
away.
It came back in, but
So
I think
he's
it
out
needed
for
surgery
playoffs
to.
too.
Yeah, he's
He'll
Yeah,
be
so
out.
he'll be out rest of the season.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
That's
So,
tragic.
so I think with this one, I think it's going to be a lot shorter. I think the games are going to all be close, but I think Boston in 5.
Yeah, it depends. If Joel Embiid is actually playing full force, I think he'll be a real pest for us purely because Tice
the
is
thing-
not doing anything to him.
Yeah, I think the thing with Embiid, though, he'll put it all into the first game, and he's not the fittest bloke in the world. I think he's going to
I'm just
crash
thinking,
pretty quick.
yeah, I'm just thinking going off past because we seem to match off with Philly every damn finals.
every year.
Dude,
Yeah.
he just likes to beat us.
He's he's only playing 29 minutes
Yeah,
because they've got the luxury of Ben Simmons, which they don't have anymore. I think he's going to be fucking
he'll be
knackered.
buggered by game 3.
I reckon it's going in 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it being 5.
Boston just has too many weapons offensively. I think they got
Yeah.
Tatum, they got Kemba, they got Brown,
and we're
they've got-
pretty good defensively.
Hayward.
Like I don't think we'll let Tobias Harris average more than 16 points,
Yeah, that's a fair
even
call.
though he's been bowling out. But I think we're pretty solid there.
On the wing, you're pretty confident with your wing players.
Yeah.
Although
It depends
Toby could be the problem rather
It
than
depends
Embiid.
if Hayward matches up on him or not, because sometimes Hayward matches up on him, and sometimes
Who would you
JT.
want?
I think I'd rather JT matching up on him.
Just because he can take a step back, he's just
because he can
naturally
actually-
longer.
Yeah, and he's a bit quicker on that first step.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think Boston will win that. I'm hoping at least.
cool. And what do we reckon? How many games you reckon it's going, Mitch?
5. Yeah, 5.
5.
I think we'll let him get 1. And I reckon if we don't lose one of the first 2 games, I think we'll sweep them. I think they'll need
Fair
to win
call.
one of those first 2. But if
I think
not,
that's a fair call.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a. Probably 100%
Lockie, what do you
there.
think for that one?
I've got Boston for, I reckon, 6 games, but
Yeah,
I reckon if Simmons was in, it would be a completely different thing. I reckon 76ers would get the win if Ben Simmons was in, but he's not.
Whoa, that's a big call.
That is a big call from me.
It
Lockie's
changes
big
the whole
calls.
defensive standpoint. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
How many games were you saying, Hoetzel? Did you say 7?
I said 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
Or
also
5
said
or
4 or
6,
5.
probably 5.
Yeah. Chin?
I'll agree, probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Toronto Brooklyn. I think this is a bit more like the first matchup we looked
Brom's
at.
ready?
Oh, really? I reckon this is
Toronto.
going to be a problem.
You reckon?
I reckon Karis LeVert.
Dude,
Is
he's a freak,
nuts.
isn't he?
He went off
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of with you. And then they got that
The-
Luau Cabarro, whatever his name is.
The
and
thing is, they've only lost
Brad
3
Man.
since the restart,
yeah.
and Toronto have lost 1 since the restart. So, but I think it's the two of the hottest teams in the East battling it out. I think it'll go a lot longer than what it needs to.
Yeah, I think
I think
Toronto
Toronto
will be 6
wins
or
it.
7. Yeah, I think Toronto just have that bit more depth to take it all the way.
Yeah,
If it goes to 6 or 7. Because
absolutely.
let me go to
And
Brooklyn.
championship experience is the biggest key in all of that.
Yeah, legit,
100%.
and just a bit of age there and everything. But Brooklyn have been playing very well.
Yeah,
Like you just look at that.
that's why I reckon they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, you look at that last game against Portland,
Oh,
and dude, that was one of the best games of basketball I've watched for a
it was
long time.
Beautiful.
Oh, like just Karis LeVert driving in, getting that front shoulder down, and hitting that little turnaround fade from like in between the free throw line and the charge circle. He did it about probably 10 times, I reckon, and they just couldn't guard him. He just couldn't miss it.
The second half of this season, Karis LeVert has been unreal.
Yeah, man, 100%. He could definitely be another one that's up there for the bubble teams.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But I think are we planning on talking about that a little bit later, maybe?
Yeah, later on, I think, after we...
Yeah, I think that'll slide into our favourite moments.
Someone who's been playing pretty well, like there's kind of gone under the radar because everyone's talking about Book and Lillard. Fred VanVleet has been playing pretty well in the bubble.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
man.
call,
He
Locki.
dropped
he has,
36 in
100%.
one game, I think. Earlier on in the bubble.
Oh,
I reckon he's going to play well against the Nets in this series.
Yeah.
Confident in his scoring now too, which he wasn't last year. Even in the
Exactly.
finals, he wasn't super duper confident
Yeah,
when he
now
was
he actually
open.
backs himself, which
Now
is a bit
he's
scary.
picking up shots, which is
The
cool.
little Drake looking
Baby
up.
Drake.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
think we're
going-
going to see some good games by Spicy P.
Yeah.
Spicy
Pascal
P.
Yeah, he's just talented. And then they got Marcus Gasol, who's a pretty good defender. Even though with this
Bit
matchup,
slow
I
now.
don't think Jared Allen's that big of an offensive threat.
No.
I think
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, he's
The
going
only
to
thing-
get there, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just watching that last game against Portland, I think most of his points were coming off put back, like just off the board, putting them back up and things like that.
Yeah.
So if Marcus Gasol can get contact first and just sort of box him out a bit, I think he'll sort of change that dynamic.
This could kind of be the last series too of Brooklyn that you see with any of these players on the team. So I feel like they're all going to get
Yeah,
muted
they're
off
all...
Yeah,
after
dude.
this year.
Think
I
of
reckon they're all making room for Kevin Durant to have the ball as much as possible and Kyrie to have it as much as possible.
imagine walking into training, right, and like you're just a young pup, right, and you got to match up. You go Kyrie, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, and then Kevin Durant.
Jesus Christ.
they're going to be really fucking
Think of
strong
that
next year.
offensive
I think
team.
Dinwiddie is the first one that goes.
Yeah, they
Dinwiddie
could
or
package
LeVert.
him and LeVert. They could package and get something pretty big.
Bulls could use a
Yeah,
Dinwiddie
you
type
talking about
player.
the Bulls?
I
Dude, I love Spencer Dinwiddie, man. I think I've told you
Yeah,
guys
man.
about that. I
Yeah, I would
rate
love that
Spencer
as well.
Dinwiddie.
None of his skills are like super duper impressive in the moment, but his IQ is above
Yeah.
everyone on the Nets. I feel like he's got the highest, like apart from Kevin Durant,
was
and
gonna say.
Kyrie probably.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I think he's got the biggest IQ and one of the better IQs in the NBA because he's not super
I think-
good at anything.
And I think the best thing about his IQ is that it's diverse and it's two-way. Like Karis
Yeah.
LeVert, he's a freak offensive sort of ISO player, whereas Spencer Dinwiddie's going to share the ball. He's going to make his team better. And then when it comes to the defensive end, he isn't too much of a liability. Like he'll still lock his man up a bit.
Mm.
But yeah, so what do we think for this matchup? Who do we think is going to take it in the end?
I think it's
Got
not going to be
Raptors
an
in
easy one
4.
for Toronto, but I still
I think it'll be 6 or 7.
I reckon
Yeah.
Toronto in 6.
I reckon Raptors in 4. I don't think Brooklyn's actually going to be able to win a game. Like maybe if they had actually
reckon
got to
4?
play a home game, if they actually got to play a home game, then maybe. But there's no crowds here. I think
Yeah.
Raptors are just. I think we're almost getting sucked into that sort of idea still when we're talking about the other games. Like, oh, they're going to steal a game. You think if they actually are going to steal a game, like Philly, it'd be at home, but they're not going to play at home.
Yeah.
So
See, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of more like I know that for some crowds, like you said, Philly and even Toronto's a pretty big one in terms of home crowd, like in the north. But I think with the bubble format, I think some of the lesser teams are just a heap more competitive. It just feels like. I feel like just
100%.
the style of the game is way different to what it was before.
in
the
the
bubble.
West, I reckon that's 100%. But I don't really think there's going to be too many upsets.
I think
in the
it'll be
East.
Toronto in 5. I reckon.
I guess briefly, do we think they're actually going to change anything about how the crowd works with playoffs? Like, do you think
They have
they're
some
going to
special something ready.
Well,
I'm
they've
sure.
got-
Do you think they'll make the
there's-
home games more like a home game? Like,
I don't think so.
I think they have to. I think
saw
it's like
saw
all
that-
the arena sounds and stuff will come in from
that's what
your
I'm
home
thinking.
court.
Yeah,
Yeah,
make
but
it a
I s-
lot stronger.
They're going to start shaking the remotes when the player's taking the free throw.
And I'm pretty
I'm-
Oh
sure.
God.
I saw that they were offering players. I think they can get one family member and one friend or something like that. Like they get
One
2 tickets
child
per
under,
player
like-
or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
to get
I
a proper
think that's what
crowd.
they're doing.
So I think that'll change it a little bit, but I don't think they can do anything in the bubble that'll change it that drastically.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll
because-
do all they can to make it worth it
because-
for the teams that work their ass off all season.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
they'll try their
Yeah.
best, but I just don't think there's much you can do. Like even if you bring in like crowds on speakers or something like, because you can't get a crowd out in America. Like you're not going to get a group together at their home
Especially not in
stadium
Florida.
anyway. Like you're not allowed to. So even if it's on a speaker or something like that, I just don't see it being all that. Like I don't see it being that.
I mean, it's not gonna like throw the game. It's not gonna like completely change how it's gonna go. But I just thought like maybe that would make it more like, because players
more worthwhile
sometimes
making it
being a home game can completely turn it. So I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be worth them doing.
Yeah, like
yeah,
maybe
so
just
are we-
pump it up more and stuff like that.
Don't you know I pump it up? You got to
Bump it up.
Yes,
Copyright strike.
Bang. But yes, I think are we all pretty unanimous that Toronto will win it? We're just all a bit in dispute about how many games, or is anyone
Yeah,
thinking
I
Brooklyn
can
will take it?
It's the hardest to
Nah.
call in terms of how many games. But I reckon
100%,
it will be
yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think we'll start at the bottom of the West tree.
I'm glad you did that.
So Clippers versus Dallas. I think this is going to be a really good matchup.
I think
Yes,
it's going
sir.
to be
I think
Yes,
this
sir.
will
not just
be.
because I'm a
this-
Dallas fan. I think it's actually going to be really good. I think from watching what both teams have done in the bubble, like they've both played really well in the bubble. But I think it'll be an interesting matchup. Especially like now that fucking Porzingis has just like gone off and he's getting like 30 plus every game, sometimes 40. It's like that could just completely like change the whole game, I guess, the whole matchup. But
Does it scare you that they're not winning?
a little bit.
They've only won
a
3.
little bit. That's what I was a little worried about. So they, when did they play Clippers? They played Clippers in their third game of the bubble, I think.
Which was weird.
They lost against them when they played them because it was 126 to 111 when they played them.
And was that Kawhi and Paul George both playing?
Yes, pretty sure.
Okay.
So that was pretty, like, I remember it was pretty close for most of it, and then that was the one where Mavs kind of choked in the last quarter, which is what worries me because they seem to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is that they're, like, obviously I'm not a fucking expert. This is like the first time I've properly watched a lot of NBA, but they're squeezing a lot of time out of Luka and Kristaps, and then you get to the last quarter and they're sort of like noticeably starting to get a little bit more tired. Whereas they've had games since then where they've sort of had the opposite effect of like they used less of them early on and then brought them out at the end, and they've just come out like flying, fucking
Especially
scoring
with
40
chubby
points and
Luca,
shit.
though.
Chubby
Chubby.
Luca.
Dad bod Luca.
Luca.
Poor man.
Luca.
And you're about to get introduced to one of the best players of all time in playoff Kawhi.
Yeah, I was going to say,
too.
yeah.
So he goes from
100%.
shooting about 18 shots, 22 shots a game to, what did he do? He can do 32, around 32 in the playoffs per
And
game.
with the
It's
same
nuts.
efficiencies, though.
Yeah,
he
it's
doesn't.
nuts.
I honestly think this will be the toughest matchup for Clippers until they get to the semifinals if they win it.
Yeah.
I think Dallas will be a lot more difficult for them compared to Denver and Utah. Whoever wins that series, which we'll talk about later.
What do we reckon for games?
Oh, I think
reckon
it'll
in
be
5.
6. I think it'll be Clippers
I
in
would
6.
go 6.
But I also think that this will be a really good little snippet of what we're going to see if it ends up being a LA
Yep.
semi-finals. Because,
Lakers versus the Lakers.
Because even though Paul George has got a really bad record of game winners in his face for finals,
He does, doesn't he?
he does know how to turn it on scoring wise in the finals. And then you got Lou Will, who is just prolific scorer and everything.
Such a luxury to have 2 fucking 6 men.
Oh,
Yeah,
legit,
those
hey.
in there.
No doubt.
Which again, how can you have 2 6-men? But anyway,
There's only one number 6. How do you do that?
I think it'll be Clippers in 6.
I almost say Clippers in 4.
Don't say that,
Whoa.
Brad.
I can't
Don't
see-
say that.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to say 5. You've convinced me, Brad.
Okay, I'm going to lock in on 5 because I just
Yeah, I'll
can't
just go
see
fuck myself.
what are they going to do. They're gonna
Dude, I forgot about playoff Kawhi.
You haven't met playoff Kawhi yet. He's going to be
Okay,
playing on
I
Luka.
know, but when
He's-
they played, they played the Clippers, they scored pretty similarly the whole game, except for the last quarter. And the other thing too is when they did play, Porzingis wasn't fucking going off like he is now yet. So now they've got
Porzingis scored
Porzingis
30
playing
in that game.
like
So
Yeah.
you're off.
yeah, but he's scored a lot
I'm
more.
telling.
in
I'm
other
reading the
games,
future.
hasn't
I'm
he?
reading the future. Luka Doncic is going to put up like my career level fucking numbers on
40,
his team.
15, and 15.
Yeah, but still somehow Kawhi is going to come out on top.
Kawhi's one of
going
the
to score
top.
15 points to get player of the game.
So we're saying Clips.
Clippers in
various.
between 4 and 6, probably 5, I reckon.
Whatever.
Clippers
I'm
gonna
gonna
win
say
it.
Dallas. I'm gonna say Dallas in 6. Fuck you.
Dallas in 4. Sweep.
All right.
Dallas
Well,
in
that's-
Dallas in
4.
4. Dallas are better. They're gonna beat them in 4 games. No,
I like that.
I'm-
That's our first.
I'm really
Divvy.
excited to see Joakim Noah in the finals
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yes.
because he's got that finals DNA.
It's built in.
But
He's built
I'm
different.
excited to see JJ Barea in
gross.
in finals.
He's been
He's
playing
just-
pretty well.
He's won a championship.
history
It's a shame he's such a gross
Lock
looking
up a
dude.
good player.
Honestly,
Put JJ on
He's
Kawhi and he'll lock
alright.
him up.
I don't think if anyone remembers, but he held LeBron to 8 points in the finals once.
Yeah. That was the year before I
Just
started
a
watching
bit of-
basketball.
Yeah,
Just-
so it doesn't count.
just tying in
Doesn't
some NBA news into this. Did anyone see the tweet that Luca put out? There's a photo of him and JJ Barea, and he's sort of looking down at JJ Barea, and he replied to the tweet saying that players will be allowed 1 child and 1 family member. Or something.
Yeah,
And he
it's
goes,
funny
"You'll be
as
right,
that.
JJ."
Oh,
It's so funny.
Very
Funny.
funny.
So that's our first
The
mixed
thing,
one.
is,
I like
the thing
that.
is, though, in saying that, as much as I'm like, I think Dallas could do it, I don't think they could get any further than the next part. Like, I think they wouldn't get to the conference final.
I think whoever
And if
wins
they
this will
did-
get to conference final.
I think so, but then when I'm looking at I'm looking at the standings. Like, would Dallas really be able to beat Denver or Jazz?
Actually,
Like,
yeah,
I
I
think
think
they're a lot better.
if
equipped
Denver
to
gets
beat
through,
Denver and
I think
Jazz.
whoever gets through, if they're against Denver, I think it'll go to 5 or more. But anyway, we'll talk about the next round next week or whenever
Yeah,
that's ready. Next matchup, Denver and Utah.
I'm
These
not
ones
sure
are
with this one.
easy
It's
questions for you
really
for this
hard.
one.
I reckon it's going to
I
7.
don't know either team that well.
do you boys
So-
reckon that they'll play bowl in the playoffs?
No,
I think he'll get about 10 minutes
Oh.
a game.
but then he won't qualify, will he, for Rookie of the Year?
No, he still does.
Do they care?
I
I
think
don't
they
think he's
care.
going to get Rookie of the Year either way.
But eligibility
Next
for
year.
next year.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
he'll get it next year if they.
I don't think they're going to think about that though, Brad. I don't think that's on their
no,
mind.
there you go.
I
That
don't
is-
think he's going to
he'll
win
get
games.
10-15 minutes a game. Because he can come out and be that crazy mismatch.
The Mitch?
The Mitch
Mitch
match.
match.
Mitch match.
Oh, we should do a segment. Every game we talk about has to have a Mitch match.
Mitch
Go on.
match.
Oh my god.
Okay, we'll go back over every game. No.
Start again.
But yeah, I think because Bol does provide such a crazy mismatch against, like, because he's so long and with range. I know he's not the best dribbler, but I think he's still good enough that he can take on some of the other big men in the league.
He'd really bring
yeah.
Rudy
That-
Gobert out of the paint as well, which would be helpful. If
Exactly,
he does
and I think
play
with
a fair
such a
few
good,
minutes.
good point.
such a good ball movement team like Denver with Jokic, Gary Harris. Actually, Gary Harris isn't playing. What's the
Jamal Murray.
That's it. Jamal Murray and stuff. I think that having him out there and Porter Jr., who isn't selfish at all, I think that if they play Bol, it'll be really good for them. But I think Denver will win this in 6.
I think it's going to 7. I'm
Again,
Denver. I'm going to say
leaning
Denver in
towards
7.
Denver, but I definitely think it's going to 7.
I think
this
the
will be
same.
6. I'm saying 7.
And just going back on the Clippers and Dallas series, I reckon whoever wins that is going to have an easy run because I reckon Denver and Utah, they're going to be knackered when it comes to the second round. Whoever
Yeah,
that is, I reckon that's going to be rough. And they're
Denver
both
a few times,
physical
actually.
teams too.
Every time
What was that, Hoetzel?
Every time Denver wins a playoff series, it takes ages to win, and they end up getting screwed out of the next series.
But Jokic is fit now. Don't forget, Slim Jokic.
Yeah, Slim Jokic.
I'm Slim
He's
Jokic.
going to put up
the real
70
Slim
points,
Jokic, or you're
70
Slim
rebounds,
Jokic.
70 assists.
And that's a quiet game for him because he's fit now. But yeah, so I think it'll be Denver.
Denver.
Chinnick, have you said yours yet?
What
are you thinking?
But I think Denver in 7 as well.
Hoping to see some
good.
good
I'm excited
stuff
for
from
that
Joe
one.
Ingles.
I think we're
Jingles?
all sort of leaning to Denver, aren't we?
This one's hard because I feel like I don't really know the two teams that well. Like I know a lot of the other
Yeah,
teams.
No one ever
They didn't
won
get
well,
heaps
but
of
no one
love
voluntarily
in
watches
Australia.
that Nuggets Utah game.
I think this is the
Yeah.
only one that because I haven't seen much of Utah. I just know that they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it'll just depend on how well Spider plays. Donovan Mitchell.
I think same as
thing.
Luca. No
He'll
matter
play
how
it after.
this goes, like no matter how this one goes, it's going to be so good for the long term of his career.
Yeah, 100%. Lockie, did you say your?
I'm thinking I'm not sure on the games, but it's definitely going to be a long one with, I reckon, Nuggets coming out on top.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. Okay, next one, Houston, OKC. I reckon this is going to be a really good series as well.
Yeah.
I have a theory on this one too.
Yeah?
I reckon this is going to 7.
Brad's
You've
fan
got
theories?
Mike D'Antoni,
Yeah,
the highest.
I reckon it's going to 7 as well.
It's going to be the highest paid. It's going to be fucking very high scoring. But the thing is, you've got Chris Paul. This is the X factor. You've got Chris Paul, who played under Mike D'Antoni, knows every single bit of the trees. I think he's the smartest player playing at the moment. I think that's going to be enough to shut him out in the long
100%.
term. And if I'm Houston, I'm scared.
Because if I'm the OKC
I'm
coach, I'm just talking to Chris Paul every day at the moment saying, what's he thinking?
And
Well, they're going to call an ISO with James Harden.
Yeah.
That's
But I
what
think
they're gonna
James Harden will average like 45 for the series.
he's going to average
Yeah.
a big game. And it's going to be one of those ones where he shoots himself into oblivion.
Yeah.
Russ isn't going to get into it as much.
I think Rush will average about 28 and 8. Because again,
He's
OKC, like I really like Shea and I really like CP, but they're just not the best defensive guards. Shea's
Chris Paul's
good; he's
not
getting
bad.
better, but with two with the front court of backcourt, which one is it? Is it
Backcourt.
Backcourt.
With the backcourt of Russ and James Harden, they're always going to cause issues.
So what if
Russell
I
Westbrook's missing the
bring
first
this
few
up as
games
well?
in the playoffs.
To,
Do you hear that?
What was that hurt?
Westbrook's
broke
missing
up a
the
little.
first few games of the playoffs.
Oh
with injury.
shit! Really?
Yeah. Strained quads.
Oh, okay.
So OKC might
Yeah, I
sneak
think
a
it'll
couple
be
earlier,
7.
but when Westbrook comes back,
I kind of want OKC to win it. I want them to.
So
I
do
don't
I.
know if they will.
I'm going to
want
say
them
OKC
yeah,
in
I
6.
know.
In 6, you reckon?
in 6.
Did you not just say earlier?
My theory is...
Did you not say my theory? Here's a theory. It's going to 7. You're already changing your mind.
But I've changed it thinking about it because I've thought about it.
I think Houston will win it in 7 purely because they'll have the extra legs of Russ not playing the first few games.
Potentially,
But yeah, I think it'll be Houston in 7.
The thing with OKC is I reckon they're elite defensively. I rate them very highly defensively. Yeah, that's best.
I haven't had a chance to watch them all that much. I'm just thinking back to OKC of the past. So,
but you've got Harden going to be putting up 30, 33, 34 shots a game, or if not more, and then it's going to go to Steven Adams. It's going to go to all.
How many rebounds is Steven Adams going to get in this game? It's a series 17 a game.
He's going to have a 20. He's going to have a 20 rebound game one day.
If Steven Adams can average above sort of 16 points, I think he needs to if OKC are going to win this series.
And he could.
Yeah. But I think he'll need to average around 20 points and like 12 if OKC are going to win it.
I'm going to say OKC in 6. That's mine.
That's massive. I really want OKC to win it, but I just think Houston are going to take it.
Anyone else?
I'm going to go Houston in 6.
Oh,
That's what I'm going to say.
Cool.
Just because I think, like, James Harden has been pulling out some pretty fucking, like, strong games recently. And, like, even today he played pretty well, considering, like, they were sort of trying to rest him a bit. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. But, I mean, like, OKC could totally come back and, like, take him down. I don't know. It's so hard to
I think
predict,
this is the hardest
but that's
one.
why I think it's going to go
Second
so
hardest
long.
one.
So just looking at throughout the year, I'm pretty sure, I think Thunder won 2 out of their 3 matchups.
Yeah.
But every two of the games were close. One of them was not.
Houston would have won more games than OKC against each other because they're the highest seed. They're the same record, so that's the first tiebreakers record against each other. So Houston's
the
obviously
2019-2020 season, yeah?
Yeah.
It says OKC
What are the tiebreakers?
112,
That's weird.
107. OKC 113, 92, and then Houston 116, 112.
So who won more games? Did they both win 2, or because the first tiebreaker is winning percentage against each other. So
It's saying that they only versed 3 times.
That's weird.
Maybe it's just a whack website.
Doesn't really matter that much, to be honest.
And,
like they're playing against each other. Do we reckon James Harden's not going to get that playoff burnout that he normally does, though?
I think he will.
That's something I'm struggling with because the way D'Antoni runs him in the playoffs is so different to what he does in regular season. And he's had the break, so I'm sort of conflicted in myself. Does he have his
I think he'll get his burnout in like halfway through the second round.
If he gets there.
He'll get there.
He'll get there. I'm still reckoning OKC.
I'm going Houston in 7.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go?
It's the hardest one. We've got to go Rockets in 7. It's very hard, though.
7?
There's going to be some great games to watch and to punt
So far, I'm saying it's a split, like as us as a general consensus, it's a split, but it's going the distance.
Lockie, have you said yours?
I reckon Houston will come out balling at the start, but then OKC will pick it up and win in 7.
Nice.
Fuck. Okay, that's our first proper split. I love that.
There we go. Okay, and then the last one, we unanimously said Portland we're going to get through, so I'm just going to... Actually, we'll talk about the game with both matchups happening. I personally think Lakers will win both matchups.
Yeah.
I think Portland will go to 5 or 6. I think Memphis, it'll be a sweep.
Yeah.
I have one issue with Lakers. If Memphis go... So we're saying if Memphis go, it's going to be a sweep?
That's what I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Now, I'm a bit conflicted with the Portland one, because if they're all healthy, they're a 4th seed, 3rd seed?
Yeah.
But they'll be so... Dame's going to be buggered, man.
Does Dame get buggered?
Dude, did you see the way he was after the last game?
Yeah, he was pretty naked.
He was exhausted. I think
the only thing
it'll be
you go.
Lakers in 6 if Portland make it through.
Yeah, I reckon
What's that?
Lakers in 5, Lakers in 6 if Portland make it through.
I'm so who plays on Dame?
I think
Good
the Lakers
question.
have got this
Who
better
plays
system.
on Dame? I cannot,
Because they don't have Avery Bradley there.
and that's by far their best perimeter player. I'm not trusting like an old LeBron for up to 7 games.
Yeah, there's no way he's locking up that.
That's going to be really hard. Like I think that, and if Damien's keeps this hot streak going, like they really need to how are we going to contain
very
Dame?
true. Do you think maybe? I was going to say maybe if they run like that 1-3-1 zone, which I've seen run against them a couple of times, which has worked quite well. But when Dame's pulling up from the logo, you can't run a zone.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I'm looking at the Lakers roster now. Let's have a look.
Same.
Danny Green's probably your best bet, and I'm not betting on Danny Green.
He'll slow him down, and Dame might only have 40.
Do you have? All right, let's have a look at their guards.
They've got Quinn Cook, who I know we love him, but he's not the best defensively.
He's not going to play a lot of minutes either.
He's undersized as it is.
Talon Horton Tucker, can't see him stopping him.
I can't see anyone on this list.
J.R. Smith, they're not doing anything defensively. They might be near the logo though.
Yeah.
They'll be near Dame when he pulls up for the logo.
I think that'll be the toughest matchup. That's why I reckon it'll be Lakers in 6. But I just think playoff LeBron is gonna get him across the line.
And you could kind of go back the other way if you want to go, counter my point. Who looks after LeBron?
I think they'll put Gary Trent Jr. on him.
Gary Trent Jr. That's a rookie. That's kind of scary in itself. But then you could also.
But I think playoff LeBron is too good to let a rookie stop him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you got AD, who
just put
with
Nurkic
Nurkic being as wishy-washy as he is. And I reckon they'd almost be better off starting.
Melo will probably guard up against LeBron.
Put a hoodie on Melo, and that's game. Yeah. Put Melo in a hoodie. Put him in his Olympic jersey. That is game, series, Portland.
I think they're probably going to be better off starting AD power forward and have a centre in there just to get Nurkic off him.
JaVale McGee.
Yeah, because I think Nurkic will be the best match.
No, okay. So I'm actually looking at a few people who have been, historically good defensively in playoffs. They've got Trevor Ariza to fall back on as well. Portland.
He's old now, though.
He's old, yeah.
He's very old now.
35? 35, but then you got Melo, who knows LeBron very well.
I think that'll be so good to watch. I think we'll see a couple of little stretches where they'll just go bang, 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 like back and forth like 4 times.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
And I'm so excited for it, honestly.
Oh my god, I'm very conflicted about this one.
I think it'll be Lakers in 6. Unless Melo turns up. But I can't, just the way Melo's been playing, I can't see him and Nurkic. I can't see their other options aside from Dame turning up for a fight, more than a 4-game series.
Are we going to presume that they're going to have to put all their defensive effort on Lillard and then probably then CJ McCollum can very well step up?
Yeah, but sometimes he doesn't.
Sometimes he doesn't.
That's why I think Lakers in 6, just purely because I don't know if Dame can rely on his backup pieces as well as the Lakers can.
Yeah, that's a good.
In saying that, Melo has that knack,
and he's never been able to prove it in a proper.
I'm so excited.
The furthest he's gone is against Kobe in the Western Conference Finals.
This might be my favourite matchup of the whole first round.
I think I'm with you, Mitch, because I'm just looking at the 2 rosters and I cannot see anyone that I would trust with Lillard.
Having watched the last few Portland games.
Yeah. And then you got Gary Trent Jr., who's playing really well too as a guard. He could probably play forward.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Gary Trent Jr. has been playing a lot of that small forward role, defending up against the better person on the other team. I think he'll probably be the best bet to lock up LeBron, him or Melo.
Yeah.
But I don't think if Lakers can start a centre and if Nurkic stays with that centre, I don't think Zach Collins is stopping AD.
No. Even then, I'd probably force a switch to make.
Yeah.
I'd definitely want Nurkic on.
100%.
for
Yeah,
this.
100%.
I would make it work.
Yeah,
Do we reckon Skip
I'm
Bayless is having a
Boys,
nightmare
you go
right
first. I'm going to think.
yeah. I'm still sitting with Lakers in 6 purely because they've got LeBron, and I think we're going to see Dame get a little bit tired. I think, and when
now?
I
Yeah, I've
say a
got
little
Lakers
bit
in
tired, I
5.
think that'll mean a 27-12 game. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it'll be Lakers in 6.
I did say this earlier. I've been saying
I
it for a
reckon-
while. The team that Lakers play are going to be gassed by the time they get to it. By the time they get to them, just because they've had so much harder of a journey to get there.
Yeah.
So Lakers in 5.
I'm really hoping we see like a 30-point game from Mallow.
I wouldn't
At
mind
least,
that at all.
at least one.
Especially
at least
when we got a
one. Give me
multi on to
one.
score it.
This could be his last season too. Like, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
This could be his last hurrah.
I think next season will be his last one. I
You reckon he's
don't
got
see
a
him
farewell
retiring.
tour.
I think because of how well he's played this last little stretch, I don't think this will be last season. But anyway, Lockie, your predictions for this game, this matchup?
Yeah. I reckon Portland would need to finish it in 4 or 5 to get past them. Otherwise, it's going to go to the Lakers. So I reckon Lakers in
nice.
6 or 7.
Ooh.
Yeah. Chin?
I'll go 6.
Nice. Lakers?
Yeah, Lakers.
Okay, yeah,
I think. Sorry, I just said 6. Yeah, Lakers in 6. I reckon.
But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Dame Lillard just balled out and killed
I'm
all
so-
the Lakers.
No,
I'm
I
so
wouldn't
excited.
be shocked, to be honest.
Oh, I'm actually so keen for this. Just after watching that Portland-Brooklyn game,
Oh, yeah.
wow, this is going to be a
that
great...
was such a good game, man.
Let's not
This is
talk
gonna be
about the fucking
great game
when the
to
ball
watch.
hit the ring, went up, then went back in again. Oh my god!
Oh my
What a-
god.
I'm gonna
What a
do it.
beautiful
I'm gonna
shot.
be the one that says Portland can win.
In how many?
Okay.
I reckon 6. If they do, I reckon
Really?
it has to be in 6. And
I
I
just-
reckon if it goes to a game 7, I don't want to fuck with LeBron in a game 7.
I'm
ever.
just so
No.
keen to watch this matchup and see playoff LeBron again.
This is good. And then, actually, I know I talk so much shit about him, and we all do, but Hassan Whiteside's one that you kind of want to
He can match
know,
up with
you-
AD pretty well.
AD as well.
pure
Hoetzel's out
length.
here like, "Argh!"
But as a bench player, like, you have Nurkic, play his heart out, have a break, and then you got Hassan Whiteside to deal with.
I just need
Like,
to say
that's a
this
pretty-
on the podcast because I've been saying it to you boys. Nurkic needs to stop sucking and he'll get 25 and 15 a game.
Yeah.
No, because seriously, I reckon there was about 6 different times where he flopped for a foul instead of just going like trying to get a board, and he would have had an extra 10 points. Like, he was seriously just sucking, and every time he got fouled, he'd run over to the just play the game, you soft prick.
Get a board!
I love him, and I love the way he's playing, but goddamn, he's frustrating me.
Yeah.
No, it's a fair call. But,
100%.
yeah, I think I'm going to be the odd one out, and we can just put it down to Brad doesn't like LeBron. But I reckon if Portland don't get it done in 6, it's Lakers.
Yeah,
I
nice.
reckon Kelly Olynyk in 4.
I think
Oh.
Kyle Kuzma in
Olynyk.
4. 100%.
Kyle Kuzma in the tradie high vis.
Yeah, 100%.
Can we
Kyle
talk about
Kuzma,
Kuz's game winner for a
Ivys.
second?
Yeah, that was a
Dude,
pretty good shot.
That was pretty. Is it?
Yeah.
Are we going to run
Well, I
into
think- I
favourite
was gonna
moments of
say-
the week?
Yeah, I think that slides us into our next sort of segment where we'll each sort of bring up our favourite little thing, and Lockie's come out the gates
You're
hard.
first.
Go for it,
That
man.
was such a good shot as well.
And it looked like it was ran for him.
Yeah, I reckon they did run that for him though. I reckon they totally would have run that for Kuz because he's been
Yeah,
playing well in the
definitely
bubble.
did.
Can I say that I think Mr. Plumlee just threw that game?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that,
Oh,
Brad.
yeah.
Oh,
He just
100%.
didn't even leave the key and let Kuzma run out there. Like, maybe you could say maybe he was like looking to double LeBron because why wouldn't you? The ball's going to go to LeBron's hands. That's what you'd think 9 times out of 10. But
Yeah.
he didn't really double him properly. He stayed in the paint
And-
and LeBron was like top of the key.
he didn't even go to help AD after.
Yeah, I know,
He didn't
just
even go try to
stood
get that
there.
rotation.
Dingus.
Who did he shoot it over again?
Bol.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
I don't care
Chris
if
Paul
it's
did that
Jesus
to him
in
as
front
well.
of me.
Chris Paul hit one over
Yeah, that's what he said,
Bol.
isn't it?
Mm.
Good on
You
him.
know, that was a really
That was
good shot.
an awesome shot.
Very good.
And I loved it. Like, obviously, I talk a bit of shit about him in terms of how highly he rates himself, but I do love that he has the confidence to shoot that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on. How many people would have the confidence to actually shoot that? Because
Over
even when
Well,
you're
you're looking at your top 20 players would be the only ones to have real confidence to shoot that.
Yeah.
even like at his level, I mean, even when we were watching the game, I'm like, don't fucking shoot that. But then he does it and gets it in. You're like, oh, well.
Yeah,
Now
I reckon a lot of the
Yeah,
Lakers
but-
players have
Well,
that confidence.
I
though.
remind you, one of the best game winners I've seen is a Sundiata Gaines. Ever heard of him?
No.
No.
Nah, exactly. Yeah. He played the G League in his first game out of the G League. He played for Utah when Deron Williams and it was just Carlos Boozer, and he ran the pick and roll, started the whole game, and having the game against LeBron too. One of the better games I've ever seen. And then it came down to the last shot, and he just happened to have the ball in his hands and pinged it and drained a three for the win on the buzzer. It was one of the best
Pulled a
things I've
Rocket
ever
Man.
seen. Pulled a Rocket Man. It's fucking elite. But yeah,
Hated that.
I reckon the Lakers have a lot of players who've got that confidence, though. I don't think J.R. Smith, Dion Waiters would think twice about pulling the trigger on that shot.
oh yeah, true.
They've got some personalities in that team who can light it up if they need to.
Mm.
Yeah. There's so many options there. Hey, isn't that nuts?
They've got some very iffy firepower, like Danny Green as well. Like, they can all have big games or all go off for 0 from 28. Like,
Yeah, legit.
you never know with those guys.
Okay, and then Lockie, I think you pick who.
Yeah, pass it on.
Actually, I've got this isn't like a massive play, but
Pull it coming out the gates with 2.
Hey,
Who
man,
is this
hey,
kid?
man.
If this is my one, I'm gonna quit.
You break
I'm
the
just
rules
saying.
straight
My
away.
career, it's called
I'm just
Your
saying.
career.
I'm just saying. Ricky Rubio played really well the past 3 games. It's really cool to watch him.
Oh yeah,
play.
and it's gonna be so good to watch him in the playoffs because they went in 8-0.
Oh, don't get me started, man. They
It's
played
like
so
a really
well.
good shooting guard.
What a joke,
for the
seriously.
playoffs.
Well, they didn't count on fucking Portland playing so well as
Yeah,
teams above them.
but props
They really
to Book,
needed-
man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
still not second best shooting guard.
All right,
In the bubble though, he's
Bubble, he's probably number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Players, not shooting guard.
I'd say
Yeah.
he's
Give us
second in
your
bubble
top
MVP.
moment. Chinnick, give me your top moment of the week.
Me? Look, I'm going to have to go with Dame's fucking bizarre shot that, he just sort of lobbed it and then it bounced off the ring and then back into it again.
It went so high up as well, didn't it?
which one's this?
He shot it from about 35
Yeah.
foot, hit
What?
the front of the rim, and it bounced another
It was literally
6
it was
foot in
almost
the
half
air
court.
before it went in.
That's nuts.
That game specifically, I can't remember who did they play that game, Hoetzel.
That was Dallas.
I don't remember which game it was. I
It was
think it
against the
was
Mavs,
the
I'm pretty
Dallas
sure.
game. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Because Chris Apps didn't know how to
he
guard
just-
him when
he-
switched.
Yeah, that game specifically, he just fucking was shooting some
61,
really.
was it?
Yeah, I think that was his 61 game. He just kept shooting these really odd 3-point shots where I was like, that isn't gonna go in, right? And then it did. Like almost every time you say that, it
Dude,
goes
hey.
in.
Yeah.
And it was, you're right, Hoetzel. It was the Mavs game. It was specifically that one where you're like, nah, there's no way that's going in. And then it bounces off. You're like, told you. And then it bounces into the ring. You're just like, what the fuck? Like,
Huh?
what? Who?
Yeah.
He thinks differently. I know we like to say that too much, but he sees the game so differently
He's
to
just
everyone
built
else.
different, you know?
To back yourself to shoot from back there.
Honestly,
is-
what goes through your brain to go, yeah, there's like 2 guys in front of me. I'm like well back from the 3-point line. I'm just going to chuck it and it goes in. Like, what the fuck?
And there's also another difference between backing yourself to take that shot and then shooting it consistently.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I mean, is
Dude.
that wasn't like, it didn't come across as a fluke because it's not the only time that he did
Hall of
something like
Fame
that
rank
in the
extender.
game. Like, there were times where they were like triple teaming him and he's fucking getting threes in. And you're like, how does your brain go, yeah, this could go in, and he actually like follows through with that? It's just, he's crazy to watch. And I think, Mavs kind of struggled to hold him back
Stop him,
specifically.
yeah.
Game
But
time's Dame time, man.
It's game
100%.
time.
But yeah, that was his 61-point game. You're right. So yeah, he definitely played pretty fucking well that game. But that's mine. I like how even when it was a fucking non-Mavericks choice for me this week, it still is
went
from a
back.
Mavericks game. There's always a way to lead it back. I'll handball it off to Hoetzel, I reckon.
Bang. All right. Here's my favourite part of the whole NBA the last week.
All right.
Everyone's favourite
I
man,
know he's
TJ
gonna
Warren,
say it.
going off for 0 points in the second half against Jimmy Butler. Got
Oh, God.
touched up. He got
So
touched
funny.
up by Jimmy Butler. And I loved it. I'm living for every moment of it. Oh, this is great.
Yeah. And was Jimmy Butler matching up on him then?
Well, most of the time
Like-
he was picking him up. Like there was a
Yeah.
few instances where he didn't, where they'd have like a switch or something. But Jimmy Butler led the switches beautifully to make sure they knew they were going to go to TJ straight away. They didn't let him get that separation on the switch that sometimes happens. It was a brilliant game from TJ Warren. Just kidding, he sucked ass. Yeah, that's also another quick thing. Duncan Robinson hit like 5 threes in the first quarter against OKC, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
I think everyone can bring their own teams up except for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, rough.
rough. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to
Sucks
say.
for
TJ
you.
Warren sucked ass. I'm going
till
to handball it
next
off
Oh, yeah,
to.
because the Bulls
I'll
are
give
in
it to
the
Brad.
playoffs. Bulls are number 1 in the East.
Oh, there you go.
I'll give it to Brad. Your turn
Locki
now.
feels
What's
my
your?
pain. My favourite play of the week was, and this is an obscure one, but Giannis Antetokounmpo headbutting that little
Yes.
Mo Wagner.
I love
That
that.
was pretty good.
I love
You
that.
know why? For 2 reasons. One, Wagner, punchable head.
Oh,
I'm glad I
dude.
got to see it. Number 2 is I like Giannis, even in a throwaway game, has the fucking fire that you want to
yeah,
be.
but
Mo
Yeah.
Wagner's head looks like one of those watermelons, right? But after, like, they've done the thing where you put the rubber bands around it.
Do you know what he looks like? I reckon he looks like the bloke from Monsters Inc. that gets stuck in the machine that sucks the screams out, and then he's left with big red lips.
Or the bloke from the Goonies.
Oh, that's rough.
Damn. Better hope Mo Wagner's not watching.
Hey, Mo Wagner, if you are, fuck you.
If you are, come here,
Mo
mate.
Wagner, if you're
I'll give you a
watching.
run for your money.
If you're watching,
Sorry.
come on.
I'll actually
Come
show
on,
you
podcast.
what a real headbutt feels like.
Oh my god.
You wouldn't be able to reach
Might
his
not get
head.
past his belly button, but we'll give it a crack anyway.
You'd go for the headbutt and then just get floored. You'd just on the floor, Hoetzel.
Nah, mate.
No, mate.
no. Muscled by himself.
Is that everyone, or is one person not
I
going?
think I have to go still.
Oh, Mitch. Yeah.
I think
Austin
something
Celtic.
that was good for me. Like, I was going to say, like, two of mine got someone like the TJ Warren thing getting locked up just because purely I think he's just a bit overrated. Secondly, I was going to talk about Dame at the Portland Brooklyn game, which was just such a good game to watch. But I do have a little honourable mention. It was so good to see Kyle Korver drop 19 points off 5 from 6 from 3.
Yeah.
Like, just as an old head, just shows how he's still got it. And, like, I mean, some games, obviously, he doesn't shoot like that, but it just looked a bit more like retro Kyle Korver, just shooting his shot, backing himself to hit it, and just not missing.
That was sick.
I just really enjoyed that purely because it was a bit of a throwback to his older past games. I mean, he actually led the Bucks in scoring that game just quietly. But then I'm pretty sure the next game he went 1 from 5, so we won't talk about that one. But yeah, so that's my little moment to watch. Now, I think up next, did we want to talk about favourite jerseys up next?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I think, Brad, you should start us off with this one. Favourite jersey all time. Should we do maybe a top 3? Because it doesn't take long to talk about jerseys. Or just
Yes.
a couple of honourable mentions or something, Brad?
Couple of
Yeah.
honourable mentions. I think my favourite all time, and very biased, I'm going to go with the We Believe Warriors jersey.
That's a good call.
Yeah,
I like the
classic.
white one the best for that one. So the white
Reckon
jersey
the
with
white?
the orange. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the home jerseys. Just maybe that's where I just watch the most games.
Yeah.
I might watch the most games with them wearing that one, but probably that. And then the worst of all time definitely could be the Washington Wizards gold jersey with black shorts. Look like a domestic team. No, yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. I can't think of anything worse. Gross. That's the worst for me. An honourable mention for best. I really liked the actually, another one for worst could be Map's fucking jersey at the moment. The
green.
you know the one. Yeah, the one with the green on it.
That is
That's
not
what
that
you-
bad.
that's
I
pretty
actually
gross.
really
I
like
don't-
that jersey.
I don't like
He's
that.
saying the city one.
Yeah, I don't know.
the
Get
blue
out
and
of
green
here.
one, Chin.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I'll get out of there.
One
That's
that
maybe
says
that's just
Mavs.
not for me.
On there.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's not the worst.
It's not the greatest.
No.
But yeah, another honourable mention one for me, which I'm very, very, very glad that they've brought back, is the Memphis,
The
the
Vancouver Grizzlies.
Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah,
Memphis jersey.
That's an
That's
all-time
all
jersey,
time.
isn't it? It's seriously awesome.
Yeah, but I reckon they're my sort of jerseys that I always keep an eye on, or don't. Wizards.
Well, I think handballing it off just because we spoke about the Mavs there, Chinnick. Oh my God, go Chin.
Oh,
All right.
Favorite jerseys?
I don't have a least favorite because I don't really know enough to have a least
have a least
favorite.
favorite either.
But I am going to go with a Mavericks one. I'm going to go with debut Mavericks, the blue with the green
See, that's
detailing.
nice.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite. Just like looks so fucking retro.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I like all three of the debut Mavericks outfits, the white, blue, and green. But I think the blue is like probably the most iconic for me, at least. But yeah, I'll go with that one. I don't really have a least favorite again because I don't really know enough jerseys that well to really pick a least favorite. Honorable mention, I really like the black Bulls jersey. That's just
Yeah.
That's a nice
one I
slick
really
jersey.
like.
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
I think we're all going to overlook how putrid, as well as when we talk about worst jerseys, how awful the Cavs' history of jerseys have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've had some
Like,
They just have unfortunate
decisions.
colours.
They've
Since
made some
LeBron, they've
decisions.
been pretty good, but pre-LeBron, there's some fucking shockers.
But yeah, I will handball it to Locki, I guess, because I just talked about the Bulls, so handball it to
alright.
Locki.
Well, my worst jersey is actually a Cavs one. It's
There you go.
the blue and black one they used in the mid to late '90s with the red kind of logo.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
94 to 97 Cavs, man. Looks kind of weird.
94 Cavs jersey. I want to see it. Ooh.
Oh, I think I know
Is
what
that
you're talking
black
about.
with the blue thing through the middle of it?
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
great.
I
like
don't
a-
love it.
red lettering. It looks kind of weird.
The lettering
Yeah,
is
I think-
gross.
I think I don't like the white version of that one more.
Mm.
Did you Google worst jerseys all time as well?
No. That's just one I like saw a while ago.
Because I couldn't think of one that I really didn't like. But I think you've just helped me with that.
And I've got two faves. I've got the pinstripe Bulls jersey, the black and red, of course.
all time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the Denver Skyline jersey, with the
Yes.
specifically the black one, the black Skyline jersey.
The new one. That
Yeah,
new black one.
Beautiful.
I want one
Nice.
so bad,
Beautiful.
bro.
Yeah, sick. I'm just gonna pull it off, look.
How about Hoetzel? Come on.
All right. Well, not to be biased, but I've got four. They're not really
That's so
four.
fine.
They're all the same jersey.
We
with
haven't
different
been
colour
going that
schemes on
long,
it.
so
It's the
far.
Miami
Here
Vice
we go.
ones.
6 hours. Here we go.
They're all the same design. They're just different color schemes. There's the Miami Vice ones. So there's the pink one, there's the white one, there's the black one, and there's the blue one. They all like very similar designs, just different. But they are some all-time jerseys, I think. Just look up Miami
doubt.
Vice jersey. They are elite. And
Did
I love the way they changed the
did you like the ones
as
with the
well.
white, the pure white, and the pure black ones that they had
Yeah,
with the
I
green?
didn't.
I thought they were nice.
Yeah. Or that
The,
retro
Oh yes, I
red
know the one.
one.
Yeah, I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, I like them too. And another jersey I do like is the Shaq Orlando one. That
Yeah,
the
I've
pinstripe
got that one.
Magic jersey.
I'm wearing the white one of that right now.
Oh, what are the odds?
Oh,
What are the
But yeah,
chances?
that is a good jersey, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, Miami Vice jersey for me is the way to go. That's just a nice look, very modern looking.
I think I'd almost prefer the retro, that like Alonzo Mourning time. You know how they had the black and the red
like
version of it, where it had the little
thicker-
white or the red outlining the number and everything. I just thought they looked so clean, those ones. They were sick.
Yeah, like these
Miami
like
Heat
thicker
have had
lettering.
some nice jerseys.
They have. So I think Mitch, you're the only one left. Is that it?
Yeah,
Jerseys?
see, this is so tough for me because I just love jerseys. There's so many different good ones.
yeah.
I think a few of you boys have already said some of them. So some honorable mentions, like you boys said, the Vancouver Grizzly ones is just all time. Pinstripe Magic is awesome. An honorable mention that hasn't been said, the Raptors, Vince Carter with the Raptor on it.
Yes.
Purple with the stripe, awesome.
That's a
Now
sick
I'm
jersey.
gonna go with is, these might not be my favourite all time jerseys, but I'm gonna go with a couple that people might not think of sometimes when they think of all time jerseys.
I'm going to like
So,
this. I can
The
tell.
first one I'm thinking of is the sort of the Dikembe Mutombo time Hawks with the big hawk on the front of it.
Oh,
I really like that one. I reckon that's pretty sick. How it like sort of fades out in the gradient of the red. It's definitely not my
very
favourite all
90s.
time, but it's a retro. One other really, really nice sort of one is that Pistons old time where they actually had the there's that blue colour where they had the horse on it and the Pistons
So that's
logo.
a Grant Hill
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
So that's
2000. I think I prefer the retro version of the Nuggets Skyline Mountain one. That light blue color is just awesome. Back in the sort of Minute Ball time. And then, let me think. I'm going to say a couple more because I'm just going on a roll here. Just to vasten the thing. You got the Kevin Garnett Timberwolves, that black with the green outline on the around the neck and stuff.
They've brought
like
that back recently too,
which is just an awesome jersey and looks so good. And then I think I'll end it on the old school Hakeem Rockets ones.
Oh yes.
Which are just
call.
nice jerseys, nice clean. Like you got that all red one with the white numbers, which is awesome. But then you've also got that pinstripe one, which has got the Rocket logo in the middle. Which they're just clean jerseys that go well. And they did a retro of that, the old red with the yellow around the collar and stuff like that.
That looks good these days. That holds up still.
Yeah, the Harden jersey is sick in that. But yeah, I think that ends that segment. So I think we're going to sort of start wrapping it up, and I think we'll end on players to watch. Is that what we're thinking?
yeah.
Let's do it.
Does anyone else have any other segments and stuff they were thinking to talk about, or should we finish up on that?
I'm happy to finish up on that.
Should we follow up about the players that we said to watch last week, which is Ben Simmons? He wasn't there. Hurt himself.
Hard to watch. Yeah, I can't remember who I said.
Well, I guess we can't follow up on it then.
Let me go check on the Instagram page. If you don't know, we've got all social medias going. We've got Facebook, Instagram. You're hopefully listening on Spotify. Give us a follow there. Are we posting on YouTube yet?
We don't have YouTube going yet because it's a bit of a fuck around. But
keep an eye out for that. You'll see that on the Instagram.
It'll come eventually. We actually get most of our listens on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, shout out to people listening on Apple Podcasts. Also, everyone that had a look at the Facebook page. We've had a heap of sort of an influx of people coming there. So make sure you give us a like and a follow, even if you don't put anything on, like any notifications or anything. Just the fact that you see it helps us out.
Yeah.
Cheers
definitely
for following
want
the
to try
OnlyFans account.
Yep, of course. We
see the
definitely want to
beans
try and
playing with their
bump up.
beans.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the plan. Pay $10 a month for that. So I think we're sort of planning to post a little bit more content, maybe like non-episode related content,
Yeah,
like
less.
as in
Yeah,
stuff throughout the week, like when certain games are played or whatever. And
maybe learn some stuff to learn a bit more about the beans.
yeah, we want to do sort of player host profiles, but in the
yeah, we
form
won't.
of like player profiles.
We won't give you too much of a hint on that because you'll have to go follow to see it.
Yeah, but
There you go.
it's
Give us a
coming,
follow. NBeanA on all platforms. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
No.
And yes, I think some of the players we had to watch. I think Chinnick, you said Kristaps, didn't you? Is that
I've got
right?
it up here.
I'm just looking at the last post.
I thought I said Porzingis the week before. That's all.
Yeah.
I think we followed on because we didn't get to see many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, I think because none of us can remember, let's just look at the next one. So next week,
good idea.
I think we'll have Hoetzel start us off with this one.
Who's the main thing to watch out? Oh, look, playoff Kawhi going to do some damage, I reckon.
Yeah.
That'll be scary to watch. I'd like to see Bam Adebayo in the playoffs as well because haven't seen that
that'd
yet.
be good.
He's been a bit less productive than I'd like him to be in the bubble, but we'll see how he goes in the playoffs. Hopefully, he can really pick it up. Yeah, that's my place to watch. Mitch, what do you think?
In terms of players to watch, I think it's going to be. I think I'm keep an eye out on Gary Trent Jr. matching up on LeBron. If we get to see that a little bit, I think that'll be good just to see a young pup giving it a shot against one of the greatest all time. But it'll also be, I think keep an eye on Mallow, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, I love that.
Finals Mallow, giving him a chance to actually have a crack with a good sort of supporting cast. Yeah, I think keep an eye on Carmelo Anthony.
Where he doesn't have to be the focal point of the
Exactly
offense.
right.
Yeah,
and he doesn't
very
need the
good.
ball in his hand as much. I'm going to handball it over to Locki.
All right. Well, my player for the week to watch is see how Karis LeVert leads the charge for the Nets in the playoffs.
Yeah, good call.
I reckon he can do some damage.
That's actually what mine was going to be, Lockie.
Well,
Go and jump on board.
yeah.
All right,
Gonna have
I'm
to,
jumping on board. Karis LeVert.
He's
Get
On
original.
the bandwagon.
Wow.
I don't know. I think he's been picking it up a lot.
It'll be very interesting to see how he does in that finals format.
Yeah.
Be very interesting.
With that bit of pressure on him because his team will be looking to him to be that lead scorer.
But yeah, that's me. You don't have to come back to me now because that was what I was going to say.
Easy peasy.
Brad,
But
what
yeah,
do
off
you
to
reckon?
Brad.
I think the player to watch is the sneaky old veteran of the NBA, Chris Paul. I think he's going to have one of the more interesting arcs
nice.
in the first round of the playoffs, especially because it's the team that kind of just yeeted him off for being injured.
Exactly, yeah.
On the
I
flip
think
side
another
as
good
well,
one with that
Westbrook.
team will be Dennis Schroeder as well,
Yes, sir, definitely.
off the bench.
Nice.
Same.
Now, I think Hoetzel's got a little plug.
Yeah, all right. So if you've listened to us for this long, go check out Brain Dead Brothers Clothing. It's a brand, young brand. Only just started out at the start of the isolation in Melbourne. Just check out Brain Dead Brothers Clothing on Instagram, Facebook, and just check out their website. That's
You
all
should
for
have
me.
plugged this at the start.
Wait a minute,
I
is
know,
this a paid sponsor?
It's not a paid sponsor.
Well, send us some clothes, Brain Dead Brothers.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you want to be
jeez.
our first sponsor, I mean,
If you, we're happy to have you on. You can even come in, send us something you want us to play at the start. We can do that. I tell you, the Beans, we're getting a reach. There's a crowd.
Yeah,
There's people.
Reach.
We have
So-
influence.
but yeah, what was that again? It's all Brain Dead Brothers.
Brain
Is that what
Dead
it was?
Brothers. Check it out.
So, is it Brain Dead Brothers on Instagram and everything, or do they have
Yep.
anything different? Cool. Yeah,
I'll
go.
just double check that, but yeah, it's Brain Dead Brothers.
Brain Dead.
Easy.
Oh, it's a
And yeah, like we said, if you want to send us any clothing or anything like that, go for it. But
This is stuff we really should be like DMing you, but we can just do it here. We're just going to
Yeah.
on the podcast. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hope
If you want
listening.
any, if you
So
love
if
to
I'm
come on
looking
and
at the
have a
right
chat-
one, they have some all-time beanies.
yeah.
Yeah,
They've
it's sick.
just
It looks
posted that.
really
It's pretty
nice.
sick. Yeah.
I'm really
At the
liking
moment,
it.
there's some
quality
free
and stuff.
standard shipping in Australia for orders over $7. Get on it.
Free standard shipping, you say? It's a
Wait,
steal
how
if
much
you
is
ask me.
shipping?
Zero, Mitch. It's free.
Well,
But
I gotta
yeah,
go buy some clothes.
awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. It's been another episode of the Beans. Yeah, keep an eye out on all the players we said. Get on all the Instagram, the Facebook, all the platforms. Don't be afraid to try and contact us about stuff you want us to talk about. That's a big thing for the next one. Really trying to get you guys involved in the podcast, whether you want
get
to
a bit
come
more
on or you
interaction.
just got a question or something that you want us to talk about. Give us a shout. If you want a shout out on the next podcast, we might be able to get a couple of shout outs in.
We're hoarding some at the moment.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
there's a couple of
hoarding.
people we've got some messages, but if we can get enough, it might make a pretty good segment. But yeah, thanks for listening, and that's been the Beans.
Enjoy your
from the
days
beans.
in the post-Jim Boylen era.
Let's go!
Woo!